thing, and I kind of curled myself into a ball.
Now at 6, the wind knocked down trees in Balboa Park, forcing it to close for the first time since the 90s.
Plus, the nation bracing for unrest today as police release video of a violent arrest that led to a man's death. And remembering the Holocaust, we're going to hear from a local survivor.
You're watching CBS 8 Mornings at 6.
A high wind warning and a wind advisory are no longer in effect this morning, but look at this. Those gusty winds caused a lot of damage across the county. Yesterday, Balboa Park was closed after the wind knocked down dozens of trees. The wind also overturned semis and caused power outages. This morning, electricity, though, has been restored. We want to thank you guys for joining us here at 6 a.m. I'm Chris Groh, in for Eric Connor.
And I'm Netta Irampour, and we're going to get to our team coverage on all of this for you. CBS 8's Dana Marie McNichol live with a look at the damage at Balboa Park with all the cleanup, too. And we're going to start with Evan to check on our forecast today. At least it's a lot calmer, right, Evan?
Yes, significantly calmer. The wind advisory and high wind warning that we had in effect yesterday have both expired. We have wind speeds down to the single digits in many spots. That started around yesterday evening, the slower wind speeds, and all throughout the night they've really died down. Forecast shows that we are still going to hold on, though, to the sunshine out there, which is great news. Temperatures are going to stay in the upper 60s. It's just really the overnight lows that have seen a big impact. So notice where we are right now. Upper 20s right now. Ramona is at 28 degrees. Escondido 36. But along the coastline, we're still mostly in the 40s. These temperatures are cooler than 24 hours ago by a pretty decent margin, but we are at least not dealing with that hectic wind out there. Coming up, we'll be talking about our next round of wet weather that could be on the way. I'll send things back over to you two for now.
Yeah, a lot cooler there. Thank you, Evan, for that. And right now, several City of San Diego parks are actually closed. And you see why. I mean, all these giant trees are down. These are pretty dangerous. The gusty winds yesterday creating this huge mess they now have to clean up.
And later this morning, the city is going to reevaluate whether to reopen the parks to the public. CBS 8's Dana Marie McNichol is live at Balboa Park. And Dana Marie, you've been there since 4:30 this morning. We know things have been starting to change as crews have been working. So how are things looking at this hour?
Well, Chris, I'll tell you that the massive tree behind me was pretty much blocking this street. There was caution tape up, but now crews have made their way, opened up the street, and it looks like they're going to come back to continue just taking all these branches away. But maybe there is other places that need more attention right now. I'm going to step out so you can see how uprooted and massive this tree is. Some of those trees, 80 feet, 35 went down yesterday, we're being told by Parks and Rec. Some of them fell on cars. Unfortunately, one person was injured. Many people we spoke to were shocked because this hasn't happened in a really long time.
Every time when there's a big windstorm, you see a lot of leaves, you see, big branches come down. But this is absolutely the worst that we've seen. We've never seen these huge eucalyptus come down like that.
Now, if you were yesterday walking your dog or just kind of meandering, this was not the place to be. For reference where I am, I'm off of Park Boulevard and I have the Science Fleet Center to my north. An 80-foot tree yesterday hit a 30-year-old woman walking her dog. We don't know if this was the tree or not, but she was sent to the hospital with serious injuries. Another tree fell on a car while a couple was sitting inside. Thankfully, the car took the hit. Now, those incidents forced the city to close public access to the park yesterday. Balboa Park Golf Course, Presidio Park, and Choice Lake were all closed as well as a precaution. Officials say the last time the city was forced to close Balboa Park was in the late 90s when around 45 trees came down during a windstorm. The trees range anywhere from 80 to 110 feet tall. Some are 60 years or older. So again, that cleanup process isn't a quick one. The city will reevaluate today whether to open up or not. Of course, if you're planning on coming down to Balboa Park, stay with us. We're going to try and keep you updated, see if they give us information on that. But many areas around the park looks just like this with the eucalyptus trees completely uprooted. So we're going to be bringing you the latest, especially as the sun comes up. I'm Dana Marie McNichol.
Yeah, just look at the size of that. That's going to take a while to clear, too. Dana Marie, thank you. In our other top story here this morning, cities all around the nation right now preparing for protests today. The city of Memphis expected to release video showing 5 of its police officers viciously beating Tyree Nichols during a traffic stop. The 29-year-old died 3 days later. Now, all 5 of these officers, you see their pictures right there, they are now facing second-degree murder and other charges for their role in Tyree Nichols' death. As of this morning, we're not aware of any local protests being held today, but police departments nationwide are on alert. Will, of course, share any information with you as we get it. Then this morning, we're getting a look at body-worn camera video of a fatal police shooting. This one happening in Barrio Logan. We do want to warn you, some of this video might be pretty hard to watch for some people. Last Friday night, officers pulled over Christopher De Armand for a broken taillight. They ordered him out of his truck to search it after he admitted to having marijuana. Instead, he then took off. Police say De Armand then pulled to a stop, got out, and fired a handgun at officers, prompting the officers to then return fire. De Armand died at a hospital. His family is calling this shooting unjustified. They say they believe he was targeted.
They see a tattooed up Mexican in the wrong neighborhood and they're gonna stop him for any reason.
He was a big dude with the kindest heart, and I'm his only son, and we were just bonding. We were just building a connection. And all that.
Now, per protocol, the officers involved will serve desk assignments while this shooting is now under investigation. We do have a new report about U.S. inflation and consumer spending just coming in, just released, and it found that prices rose 5% last month from a year earlier. That's actually down from the 5.5% year-over-year increase, which we saw in November. So it would be considered the third straight drop, which is good news for our economy. We'll see how the markets respond.
Today is Holocaust Remembrance Day. The Auschwitz concentration camp was actually liberated 78 years ago today. In the last moments of World War II, 6 million Jewish people were murdered in the Holocaust. And San Diego County is actually home to about 400 survivors. One of them is 93-year-old Rose Schindler. She was just 14 when she was brought to Auschwitz. Here is what she told us during an interview last year.
I keep thinking, where was God when this was happening? Why didn't he try to help us? Okay? And why didn't the whole world try to help us? Just because we were born Jewish?
Now, Rose will be sharing her story with students at UC San Diego later today. And you can expect an increased police presence at local Lunar New Year events this weekend following the mass shootings in Monterey Park. There are no known threats here, but police are on high alert today. The 3-day Tet Festival will begin at Mira Mesa Community Park. There will be food, music, and dancing starting at 5 p.m. It continues tomorrow and Sunday at 11 a.m. Another festival will be held at the Shi Fong Temple in University Heights on Sunday.
And this morning, a homeless shelter for women is now open. This at the old downtown library. So now up to 36 women can seek shelter inside there. They can also get mental health services. We spoke to one woman who has experienced homelessness herself and now works for the city to help find solutions.
I have the pleasure of being a part of the Homeless Strategies and Solutions program for the city of San Diego, and hold a voice for everyone that wants to tell me what's really going on so that we can make changes like this.
That voice, so important right there, and you saw the emotion in her as she was describing her role now after what she's gone through. A nonprofit will also help women at the shelter get access to social services and housing assistance. The goal, of course, to find permanent housing for these women.
And this morning, switching gears here, it's moving day. Sam Ryder is in the lead at the Farmers Insurance Open at Torrey Pines. He's at 12 under after an impressive performance yesterday on the South Course. He has a 3-shot lead over Brendan Steele. Now, John Rahm is currently at 4 under for the tournament. He put on an impressive performance over on the North Course. And former Aztec Xander Schauffele was on the verge of missing the cut, but he rallied late and ended up making the cut. by 2 strokes. So everybody's in play right now as we all get these last 2 rounds here on the South Course. Round 3 begins around 9 a.m. today. The tournament concludes tomorrow, and you can watch both of those rounds here on CBS 8.
Okay. And you're seeing, I don't know if it's called the short game in these clips.
Yeah.
But with the long
Yeah, so
ones,
like the long game. Yeah, exactly. Off
game.
the tee, off the fairway. It
gusts
definitely
would have been
impacted.
hard, right?
Yeah, so it was kind of,
Ooh.
it was really cool because when you have holes that are downwind, meaning you've got the wind at your back, you're seeing these guys hit clubs that they're getting an extra 30 yards sometimes because of that, because of those wind gusts.
How strong it was.
Exactly. And so when you see that, it's like, oh my gosh, because even for me, they're hitting that club like 10 times further than I would. So it's so cool.
But that little assistance really could get in the way.
7-iron on a 200-yard par 3 is incredible.
You know,
those words.
Wind makes ball go far.
I was just gonna say, hit ball goes farther with wind. Copy that. It is no longer a factor to consider, though, for the day today. We have seen wind speeds start to calm dramatically, and that started yesterday evening at 10 p.m. Yesterday, we had a high wind warning and a wind advisory both expire. Now we are gearing up for wet weather, right? One thing ends, the next begins. So it was a pretty calm week. A lot of sunshine on hand, temperatures around average. We're going to keep that going today and even tomorrow. And then take a look at your daily opportunity for precipitation. That climbs all the way through Monday, eventually to 71% chance, and then drops off from there. So that's when we really start to see that smaller likelihood of showers in the forecast after Tuesday morning. You can see that trough of low pressure that is already affecting the Pacific Northwest. It's going to be sinking down from the north and headed in our direction. You can make out the water vapor in this color here, this yellow and orange on the screen. And as it keeps traveling south, it'll bring likely about 0.2 to 0.5 of an inch to San Diego. So 5-day forecast looks like this. We hold on to the warmth for a final day today. Temperatures start to cool to the low 60s tomorrow. Clouds begin to build, but otherwise tomorrow is still expected to be a beautiful sunny day out there. As we get into Sunday, temperatures drop into the 50s. Rain begins Sunday night, lingers into Monday, Monday being the best opportunity for rain. And then it looks like by the time we get to Tuesday, we are back to dry skies, but those temperatures are going to be slow to recover. They're still going to remain in the upper 50s out there. Wind speeds have finally died down quite a bit. We haven't seen a return to onshore flow. These winds are still offshore. However, notice they're in the single digits for Oceanside, Escondido, Poway. 11 miles per hour for Chula Vista, 9 for Sill Hill. They were at 90 yesterday, so much calmer now as we head through the morning. Mount Laguna still elevated out there at 25 mile per hour gusts. Let's take a look at traffic as we start off the day. No crashes or collisions on our map here to kick off your Friday. It's a very good thing to see. We'll zoom in specifically to the downtown area, moving toward Coronado. Slightly slower speeds getting into Coronado, and then also some slower speeds getting north on the 5. This is likely due to volume just picking up around the National City area. But besides that, it's not much trouble out there to start off the morning commute. I'll send things back to you, too.
Thank you, Evan. And still ahead here, a question many people who've been watching this case may be asking, could a plea bargain lead to Maya Miliete being found?
Yeah, an important question there, one that many have, plus why the suspect in the Half Moon Bay shooting just admitted to the crime. And recent storms improved the state's water supply, so what does that mean for water restrictions? We'll tell you after the break.